Okay, we're gonna try to record like this instead, I think. This is the second time I've tried to record this video. I didn't finish it the first time, thankfully, but I switched to Streamlabs instead of trying to record with Filmora, so we'll see how this goes. Anyway, after years of saying that I'm going to make a Dexter video, I'm actually going to do it. We are officially in production. So, for those of you who don't know, which is all of you because I've never said it, Dexter is my favorite show of all time. I originally wanted to make a video about it back when Original Sin was announced, but I didn't. So now, since Original Sin's out and Resurrection just came out and finished, I think it finished about a week ago, maybe two, I figured it's a good time to actually just talk about all four shows, Dexter, New Blood, Original Sin, and Resurrection, right here. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the first three. This is mostly going to be about Resurrection, but since I've never gotten the chance to talk about those ones before, I figured I'd just do it here real quick. While we're on the topic of Dexter, I do want to say I've been reading this, which is the book that the show is based on. It is not as lighthearted as the show. It's actually pretty fucked up. If you clicked on this video, I'm sure you already know what Dexter is, but in case you don't, I'm going to briefly summarize it. Dexter is a show about a serial killer who kills other criminals. Partially because it's the morally correct thing to do, also partially because it's easier to not get caught that way because there's not as many people looking for criminals. Like whenever they turn up missing, I mean. I'm going to go ahead and get into spoilers, so if you're still watching the original Dexter and you don't want the ending spoiled for you, get out. Move it along, bucko. The ending to the original Dexter is Dexter fakes his death, right? There's this big hurricane coming, and he drives his boat straight into the fucking hurricane. It rips his boat to shreds. Somehow he survives, and now he's in Oregon. Everybody in Miami thinks he's dead. So we don't get a lot of closure for the character because he is still alive and he's just somewhere else doing the same thing he's always done. It's just the cameras aren't rolling and we're not watching him do it now. A lot of people were not very happy with that ending, and it's the only ending we had for 8 years. Dexter ended in 2013. Dexter New Blood started in 2021. So for a long time, that was the only ending. Now in 2021, Dexter New Blood came out. The writers came back and they decided, you know what? A lot of people don't like the ending that we had. We're gonna run it back and we're gonna get it right this time. They didn't. The premise of Dexter New Blood. Damn, I'm close to the camera. I have to chill out. The premise of Dexter New Blood is Harrison, which is Dexter's son, finds him in New York, and he tries to recreate a bond with him, or more so just ask him why he left him. And Dexter, decides he's actually going to try to be a dad, and he tries to be a good father to Harrison. As their bond grows stronger, Dexter kind of starts to suspect that Harrison might have the same tendencies that Dexter has in terms of, wanting to kill people. And this is where I'm going to get into spoilers for New Blood as well, so if you're still watching that one, out. As we come to find out, Harrison does have those urges, but he's actually trying to be, a better person than Dexter and not kill people. So at the end of the show, Dexter kind of realizes this predicament that he's gotten him and his son into, and he decides that the only way to get them out is for Harrison to just kill Dexter, right? Because if Harrison kills Dexter, then it's going to look like Harrison didn't want to do any of those things, and it's kind of the only way out for his son. So he's willing to sacrifice himself so that his son can live a good life. So Harrison does shoot Dexter right in the heart, and Dexter dies. And that was the only ending we had until Original Sin got announced. Now, I'm going to touch on a couple things with New Blood. For one, it was actually pretty good up until the last episode. It was nice being there's this really iconic line in Dexter New Blood where the sheriff, I think she was a sheriff, she's some kind of law enforcement that Dexter is dating at the time. The main cop that's on to him in this show. She goes into a cave and she finds the body of her best friend that's been missing for years, like 20 years or something. And she's like, I need you to come up here. She's talking to Dexter. She says, I need you to come up here and examine these bodies and tell me what happened, right? And Dexter, who has been going by Jim Lindsay, no one knows that he was Dexter Morgan, says, what do you mean? I don't know anything about that stuff, even though we know he does. And she's already kind of figured him out at this point, so over the phone she says, I don't need Jim right now, I need Dexter Morgan.
It's Jim. You okay?
I don't need Jim. I need Dexter Morgan.
So whenever she says that line, all Dexter fans came in their pants. It was a big moment. So there's a couple moments in there like that. However, there's also some pretty bad moments too. So my main complaint with the show is that it's just irrational, I feel like, for Dexter to be doing this for so long in Miami, working right in the middle of Miami Metro homicide, right? And never gets caught. He's suspected a few times, but never gets caught. And then he kills 2 or 3 people in New York, and this cop is on his ass immediately. I don't think that kind of lines up with the original show. Also, they kind of don't have anything on him. The New Blood plays it out like Dexter's never been in this situation before. It's over. You know, they've never had this much evidence on him. They don't really have anything. The only thing that they have is that the Bay Harbor Butcher used to kill people using ketamine. And these new victims in New York have also have needle marks where they've been shot up with ketamine. And that's pretty much it, if I remember right. It's been a long time since I've seen New Blood, but that's like their damning piece of evidence. So, not a lot. Honestly, I don't think it was enough to get him on at that time. That changes in Resurrection, but for now, not a lot. Dexter gets arrested. He decides that he needs to break out of jail to go help Harrison. And to do that, he kills Logan, who is an innocent cop, on camera. I'm pretty sure. Maybe I'm wrong, but as far as I can remember, I feel like there was a camera looking directly at Dexter's cell, and they watch him strangle a cop. He wraps the handcuffs around Logan's neck or something maybe, and just fucking strangles him and kills him. Or maybe I'm insane and I'm completely misremembering this. Anyway, he definitely kills Logan 100%. Hello, this is me while I'm editing this video. I was wrong. There was not a camera. That's on me. But Logan did fire a fucking gun right beside Dexter's head in the middle of the jail. Maybe he was the only person in the jail. I don't know. But just wanted to say I was wrong about the camera footage. There's no footage of Dexter killing Logan, I don't guess. Don't like that. I understand the number one rule of the code is don't get caught. Don't really feel like he was in a position where he was completely fucked. So killing an innocent man, to me, doesn't align with Dexter's character that much. I feel like he could have found another way out of that situation. Like, killing innocent people is usually last resort. He didn't even really try anything else. He was just like, fuck it, we're killing this guy and leaving. So, I have mixed feelings about New Blood, but I lean towards the side of fucking hating the show, to be honest. So anyway, our second ending to New Blood was Dexter getting shot in the chest by Harrison and dying. Not a lot of people had a problem with the fact that Dexter died. A lot of us had a problem with the way that it was executed. So, Dexter became the first show in history to have 2 bad endings. That's pretty impressive. Dexter Original Sin gets announced. I'm like fucking slurring my words, dude. Dexter Original Sin gets Dexter? Oh, no. Okay. Crashed out a little too hard. Anyway, Dexter Original Sin gets announced. It is a prequel to the original Dexter. This is about Dexter whenever he's first getting out of college and he's like starting his internship at Miami Metro. And it's just going over his origin story whenever he first started killing. Honestly, I have almost no complaints about Original Sin. It's a really good show. For one, they can't fuck up the ending because it's a prequel. So it doesn't really have an ending. So Dexter is always good. Everything they've ever written Dexter related is good, except for their endings. So Original Sin is like the perfect scenario where they can just do the good writing and not have to fuck it up with a bad ending, because they don't need one. So Original Sin was amazing. I guess one complaint I do have is they never bring up Dr. Vogel, which Dr. Vogel was a really fucking bad storyline for Dexter Season 8 anyway, but unfortunately, you guys did put it in the show, so you kind of can't just pretend it didn't happen. So I feel like Harry's storyline should have had some of Dr. Vogel in it. Instead, it focused a lot on him and Dexter's mom, which is completely fine. That storyline was a lot of fun. I just feel like Dr. Vogel should have at least made an appearance to kind of reference what we've already come to learn about Dexter and Harry and all of that. But that wasn't even mentioned a single time. It's fine. We know it happened even if they didn't show it, unfortunately. So they don't need to bring it up. It was just a little odd that there wasn't even one scene that had her in it. But Dexter Original Sin was a lot of fun. It doesn't really contribute to the overall Dexter story that much. It's just kind of filling in some little holes that we didn't get to see in the original show. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on Original Sin here. But I at least wanted to just take the opportunity to say, really fucking good. Way better than New Blood. Obviously not as good as the original Dexter. Nothing ever will be. But honestly might be on par with Resurrection at least. So now I'm going to move on to Resurrection. This is the newest one, and I want to thoroughly talk about the show. So in a moment I'll give you guys a spoiler warning because I am going to touch on everything that happened even in the last episode. But briefly, I will talk about some stuff without spoilers before I do that. For one, Dexter Resurrection starts pretty much directly after the events of Original Sin. Dexter has been shot. He's rushed to the hospital. He undergoes surgery. He's in a coma for a while. He survives. They claim that it was so fucking cold in the snow that he was in that it slowed down his heart rate, and that's how he survived a bullet directly to the fucking heart. Whatever. I don't care. It's Dexter. It lost its realism a long time ago. So now he's in the hospital. He's been shot. He's good now. Batista shows up. Angel Batista gets to the hospital that Dexter's in, and I need to back up. Hold on. In Dexter New Blood, Angel Batista comes into contact with the cop that I was talking about earlier who had all of this evidence on Dexter or whatever. So Batista learns that Dexter is not actually dead. And now Batista thinks that he's the Bay Harbor Butcher too, because that's what LaGuardia said in the original show. LaGuardia, towards the end of her life, kept saying, it wasn't Dokes that was the Bay Harbor Butcher, it was Dexter, I know it was. And they were just kind of like, you're fucking insane. The lab geek? Pfft, okay. But since Dexter has faked his death, Batista's now like, well, hold on a minute. Batista's back. He comes to visit Dexter in the hospital. He's like, hey, buddy, how you doing? And he runs all of these theories across them, and he's like, it was a little weird. LaGuardia actually thought you were the Bay Harbor Butcher, and then she died. And Dexter's like, oh, that is pretty weird. I don't know about all that. So Dexter's like, I gotta get the fuck out of here. He sneaks out of a window. Oh, I kept saying New Blood was in New York. That's a lie. It's not. This show's in New York. I don't know where New Blood takes place, actually, to be honest. I thought it was like Upper New York, but... Boo! Back again. I was right this time. It is Upper New York, Iron Lake, New York. Same state, different city. Bye. It doesn't matter. Anyway, this one's in New York City. So, Dexter runs to New York City because he finds out that's where Harrison's at, and he's going to look for Harrison to try to rekindle that relationship with his son. And Batista is on his ass the entire time. That's the overall premise of this show. Now I'm going to get into spoilers, so if you haven't finished Resurrection, you know the drill. The, main plot begins whenever Dexter kills Red. He finds a serial killer in New York City going by the name The Dark Passenger, and Dexter decides to get a little petty, and he's like, that's my name. He can't take my name. So he kills him. Obviously, that's not the only reason he kills him. The guy's a serial killer, so Dexter would have killed him anyway, but that, really made him lock in on the Dark Passenger. So he kills Red, and then he finds this invitation in Red's apartment to this, meeting for serial killers. And Dexter's like, what's this? A buffet? So he pretends to be Red to sneak in, because they don't know what Red actually looks like. Most people don't, because Red, whenever he killed people, he wore this hood that had a bunch of little reflectors in it. So anytime a camera was looking at him, it was just this big glare. So not a lot of people have ever actually seen Red's face. So he's pretty confident that they're not going to recognize him. So he goes in there. He pretends to be Red. It works, and he, meets all of these other serial killers in this big lunch, right? We meet Leon Prater, who is Peter Dinklage's character, and he invites serial killers to have dinner and presentations and stuff like that because he admires their work. He has a huge interest in serial killers, and he just wants a front row seat to the show, basically. So Dexter gets there. He meets all the other serial killers. Obviously, we know who Dexter is, so he immediately starts killing them. I do want to say the rate at which Dexter starts killing them is pretty alarming. He kills them back to back to back. I mean, the Leon Prater and Uma Thurman's character, I don't remember her name, they have to just actually be dumb to not... I mean, I guess Uma Thurman's character did know it was him. Leon Prater was just actually blind, I guess. I don't understand how he never caught on. But towards the end of the show, they do finally find out, and unfortunately Batista has finally found out too, and he meets Dexter at Leon Prater's place, right? So Leon Prater gets Batista and knocks him out and puts him on one of Dexter's kill tables, and then he gets Dexter in the room and he's like, I want to watch, right? He's sitting back in the corner. He's like, come on, Dexter, I want to watch. So he gets Batista on the table, and he gives Dexter a knife and gets Dexter over there at the table, and he's like, go ahead, do it. And Dexter, which I actually like this a lot, Dexter, he's like, we were on a team once, maybe we can be on a team again. So he cuts all of the plastic off of the table and lets Batista free. I think that's really nice, because the alternative, obviously, is that Dexter kills Batista. Nobody would have liked that. So the way that they handled this is actually really... I love it so much. So, he lets Batista free. I think that's very fitting to Dexter's character, because Dexter oftentimes kind of overlooks the fact that what he's doing is actually fucked up. So he's delusional enough to think, Batista will forgive me if I just save his life right here, and I'm going to get him out of the situation. Batista, however, doesn't react that way. He immediately gets off the table and grabs Dexter and pushes him up against a wall and starts beating the shit out of him. And that is also very fitting to Batista's character. Batista is very loyal and loving and just a good cop. So he doesn't let anything distract him from the fact that Dexter is still the person that got LaGuardia and all the people that he loved killed. So he is here to bring Dexter to justice, and that's what he's going to do. And it was just a really nice scene. And then Leon Prater gets a gun and shoots Batista in the back like fucking 5 times. So that's how Batista dies. Obviously not happy about Batista's death. I'm not saying it was bad writing, but that is just a character that we all loved, so it is sad to see him go. But honestly, I think it was a really good end to his story. Batista died staying true to what he believed in, and it was just, he didn't go at the hands of Dexter. So that was great. Dexter does eventually kill Leon Prater, and it kind of sets up for the season 2, because he stole a list from Prater, and now he has a list of all of these different serial killers that he plans on going after. So Dexter's like back in full effect. He's in serial killer mode again. And he actually has a good relationship with Harrison now. So Dexter Resurrection was actually a really fucking good show. The only complaints that I have was, for one, a lot of product placement. Like, the entire first episode is just fucking AirPod beats, like, it's crazy. And then the music thing kind of doesn't stop after the first episode, actually. Like, after the first episode, or even during the first episode, anytime anything is happening, there's just constantly music playing. And it's not like the original Dexter's music. It's like actual mainstream songs for some reason. It just feels really out of place for Dexter. So I guess my biggest dislike about the show is it feels like they're trying way too hard to like modernize it, I guess. Because even Batista, when he's tracking Dexter, instead of using some kind of like actual tracking device, he uses AirPods and like Find My Device on his iPhone to track him, which is smart, but it just feels like forced, I guess. Like, I don't know, it's just fucking aggressively 2025 in this show, which is, I don't know, it's strange to me. It doesn't make the show bad, but it was just a little thing I didn't like. I will say I am excited to see where it goes from this point forward, because, I mean, obviously they are going to make a season 2. Dexter is going to keep killing, but eventually this does have to come to an end, like an official ending. And from what we've seen, they don't really know how to do that. And the writers have come out and said Dexter is not going to die. They've said that before. Back when the original show was running, they were like, we are not going to end this with Dexter dying. And they didn't. But in New Blood, he does die. So they thought that him dying would be a good ending there. If they're not going to do it this time, how do you end it? Right? The only other way is to pretty much just give us the first ending again, which is he doesn't get caught and he just goes on doing what he does. Or he does get caught. If he does get caught, now I kind of feel like it's a little bit less impactful, because Batista's not going to be there to see it. The only people from the original show that will see that and will get to see like the actual interactions between them and this guy that they loved was like Quinn and Masuka. And that's pretty much it. Everybody else from the original show is dead. Batista was the most impactful for sure. So if it were to end with Dexter in a courtroom, seeing Batista there with him and that all go down would have been way more impactful with the characters that we have left to witness that. So I don't know if him getting caught works as well now that Batista's dead. So I don't know if I have like a good ending for the show, honestly. I hope they do. Usually they don't, but they've just kind of, I feel like they've wrote themselves into a corner now with Batista being dead, where I don't know what the satisfying ending is at this point. I feel like a lot of Dexter fans just want Dexter to live, but then we're back to square one, right? No closure. So they got to figure something out. But pretty much overall, really satisfied with where Dexter as a franchise is at right now. And I hope that they can wrap it up in a cute little bow for us. But I'll talk about it again whenever Dexter Resurrection Season 2 is out. I am going to try to upload to this channel more. I've been lacking a lot. I do want to do some gaming stuff because pretty much everything on this channel right now is movies and TV. Actually just, well, now TV, but before this it was just movies, I think. So I kind of want to spread to TV as well as games and just talk about the things I like on here a lot. I'm at least going to try to upload once a week. That's going to be my goal for now. If I can do it more often, then great, but I'm going to make sure I at least get one video up a week. I think the next thing I want to talk about is either a movie that I watched called Weapons. It's pretty popular. It's in theaters right now. Or, actually, my next video will probably be on Borderlands 4. I've been playing a lot of Borderlands 4, and I kind of want to talk about my thoughts on that. And then after that, I actually might make a video about the Game Awards and what I think should be nominees for Game of the Year and what I think should win and shit like that. So we will see. But goodbye.